When I start to writing, first I wrote some conversation with my dead poets. And I wrote Yılmaz, my name. I want to write your story. Is there any problem about that? You're cool with that? And Muzaffer said yes, but Rustu said, I'm not sure what is your goal. It's about our sad story. If your goal is writing a sad story, they died young, blah blah, you follow the emotional thing, it's not good, because if they were young, lots of people died young. It's not so special thing. But if it's about real poetry, yes, you can write. I said, yes, I'm following that, because poetry is very, there's a distance between poetry, because maybe this period is strange period. People doesn't read any poet. Rustu said on the paper, of course, Rustu and Muzaffer, we don't need this sad story, but you need poetry, real poetry, philosophic poetry, smart, funny, fast. Poetry is not flu, it's certain, and we need it, because poetry is not poetic. Life should be poetic because of smart and strong poems. But you know, I mean, poetic things is boring, you know. It's not poet's fault. This is misunderstanding. For example, a poet is not funny, I don't believe him or her. Should be funny, should be smart. And they are funny and smart. It's about 9 years ago. In my room we discussed, very friend of mine, he's an actor also. He told me, do you know about poets from Zonguldak? Zonguldak is a country near the Black Sea. I said, no. He said, you should check them, because their story is very interesting, very available to make a movie. Because he knows I'm a poet also, and I checked in Google. There was very few knowledge about them, just some poems, and they were young when they die. They lived Zonguldak, and they tried to be famous poets that time in 40s. It was very touchy and fragile story, because if you're a poet also, you are in the same family. I'm a different poet. I'm a comedian and poet. It's a chaotic issue. I went to location. I went to Zonguldak and discussed with people. I told them, who are they? Do you know anything about them? And I discovered just Rustu. There's two poets, Rustu and Muzaffer. Yeah, there is some knowledge about Rustu, because he's from Zonguldak also, but they don't know anything, almost anything about, except some poems about Muzaffer. And I start same time writing and researching process, and I wrote in 9 years. Poetry is not easy material to write, but I tried. My main material is about irony. Sometimes I'm ironic storyteller, Sometimes your material is became positive irony. This is little bit difficult than the others. In my opinion, the life is between the crying and laughing. There is a very thin line between them, and I'm just I'm following that line, because yes, my poet's life story is very tragic. They died 20s, but it's not important. We will die, you know, bad news. One day we will die, but the important thing is, what did you do in your lifetime? This story is about that. I wrote 11 drafts in this story, 11. But still I changed on the set. Destiny. Especially this project, because they're not poets. They, like everybody, they and between the poetic words, very long distance. And the first 6 months before the shooting, we worked about poetry. We read poems, we read poets' life stories. Even they wrote some poems. Poetry is not poetic. Poetry is about mathematics. This is a mathematical thing. This is very, very specific technical problems has, because it's not cloudy, rainy, it's not romantic, you know. It's real, it's about, poetry is about philosophy, not romantic things, because it's deeper than that, and they should learn it. As a screenwriter, my purpose was to create that emotion thing at the final scene. They laughed too much, they cried too much, and I said, job is done. And finally, my poets. This is about me and my poets. This is our story, because two young poets. Yes, there is another poet, Behçet Necatigil. He became very famous. He get his goal, but mainly my heroes are Rustu and Muzaffer, because they tried to be famous. They tried to send their poems to the people and didn't success. After 70 years, after that movie, they became famous. Their books are top on the list, and I said, okay, you did good job.